Good morning or good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for checking in on this week's Lunchtime Learning. Today, we're going to be talking about baselines and envelopes and what the difference is, and in specific, how they are used in Merrily Interactives. Don't worry if you catch this midstream or it's choppy. It's all recorded, and you can catch the replay later. So, we also put these always on our YouTube channel. At YouTube/Embrilliance, you'll find a playlist just for the lunchtime learning sessions. Also, in the links, you will find links to the free envelopes, which can be installed to the Embrilliance platform, and there's instructions with those. I have also put in a link for the Merrily patches, so in case you're like, that looks kind of interesting, you can get direct thing there. That's in the description, as well as the supplemental information sheet that those of you who have purchased Merrily may not realize there's instructions that come along with these. So let's pop into the software and see what this is all about. So here I have created a double patch from Merrily Interactives, and you can see that first of all, let's talk a little bit about what we're looking at here. I have a patch, a rocker bar on top here, and the company name I happen to put here inside, and it is enveloped to fit. Now, these are automatically included in the shields of Merrily Interactives. So let's create a brand new design, and we'll actually recreate these two patches so that you can see how you can easily add this information yourself without struggling and figuring, how do I do that? So we're going to go to a new design page. And I'm going to go up to my gear library, which is how we access the shields. And it's going to list all of the libraries that I happen to have for Merrily. I have other libraries installed here, but we're going to be talking about the ones in Merrily. And in particular, we are going to go into the shields library here. And there are a whole bunch of them that are listed here. Now, what's important to pay attention to is you notice they're actually named. So this is Shield 7. And do you see this one says Shield 7 Top Rocker? That means that this shape has been digitized to fit right above that. So some of them have them that go above, some that below, some are different sizes. Like you can see here, this one is a different shape, but they both belong to shield number 10. So you can see, even though you thought, well, maybe they're all exactly the same. Why can't we just have one? Well, if you actually pay attention, some of them are just a little bit different, and they have been created so that they match perfectly. For our example here, we're going to choose shield number 4, and that's also going to take the top tab. So at the same time, why don't I bring them both in? So I'm going to hold down my Control key on my keyboard or Command on Mac, and I'm going to select both of them at the same time and click on OK. So these two you can see are highlighted. On Windows, they have a little different selection box, but they're both highlighted, and we're going to click OK. That brings them both into our screen, one right on top of each other. So we have to make sure that you move them up. They don't have to be exactly as size because you're going to be stitching these either on your water soluble or however you're going to be stitching your patches, but we have them both together. Now, I zoomed in close, and if you look at them, this top one here, shield number 4 top tab, whoopsie, don't want to rename it, it has this outline in here. You're like, wonder what that is for. Well, while you have this shield selected and you click on the Notes tab, it tells you that this shape is actually an envelope, and it will stretch to fill that with whatever lettering object you type in there, but you have to make sure that you name your lettering object letters 5. So as a refresher, I'm going to click on my lettering tool, and let me go here to my fonts here, and I'm going to choose the one that I want to use, which will be Fire. Merrily fire. And under here, where it says my text, I'm going to type in the text. And it was very fine. And I'm going to hit the enter key, and it just puts very fine just in the middle of the hoop. That's because I didn't give it an address. And according to the notes, the address has to go up here where it says letters. I need to put space 5, hit the enter key, and it popped all the way up there so that if I click off of it, it automatically envelopes it to that shape that's on the tab. That's pretty nifty. Now, if I notice on this one, here at the bottom, it looks like I have more than one object in here. See, I can sort of see by looking at it, oh, there must be an envelope that goes here to the top. But what's this light yellow that's going around the edge? Those are baselines. So let's select Shield 4 at the top here, go to our notes, and there's a whole bunch of stuff in this one. So it says baseline number 1. So that means if I name my lettering object letters 1, because it tells me that there's actually a baseline right here at the top. So let's go and let's create another lettering object. Now this is small lettering. So I'm going to go to my letters tab here, and I am actually going to choose, they didn't want the serifs. So they didn't want those little guys here on it. So I'm going to choose the Coast, and I'm going to choose Coast Mini because that's a little smaller. Actually, I can make that one probably medium size. Well, we'll see which one fits better. Okay, but that's the style that they wanted. They didn't want those extra things on it. Now I'm going to type in local honey because that's what they wanted. Hit the enter key. Now, let me put that back on mini because I know I can tell right away it's not going to fit because I'm going to use a baseline. So I forgot what it was I had to call it. I have to go up to Shield again, go to notes. If I call it letters 1, it's going to track the tops of these letters here right along that baseline there at the top. So I'm going to go up here to this letter's name. I'm going to click on it, hit space 1, hit the enter key. And, well, that's kind of interesting. It put it right above the top. Why did it do that? It did that because I think I was supposed to put a dash L in there. I think I'm missing some of my instructions here. Yes, I didn't have I missed part of the instructions. I had to make this a little wider so I can see. Do you see it said letters dash L C 1? So if I didn't follow the instructions. So let's go back up here and I'm going to type in letters space dash LC, have 1, hit the enter key. Look at that. Fits in there. It takes these and puts them right across the top. Now, if that's the look you're going for, that's wonderful. These shields are part of the Merrily patches, which I've put the link in the original description of this video if you're interested in getting these. So cool. Now that's if you want it. Do you see how the letters are they're going right across the top and they kind of swing through. If that's the style you're looking for, great. But they also give you the option to do the envelope. So to change that text to an envelope, there's instructions. It says I have to call it envelope 4, and that's going to fit them into there. So let's see how that works. So I'm going to have this named. It says LC-1 or -LC1. I'm going to change it to letters and to number 4. Hit the enter key. It's straightened out, but when I click off of it, it fills it in there nicely. Fabulous. I mean, oh, look at this. It's just like options for doing your patches and things like that. Now, they also wanted Colorado in here because they're a Colorado company. So again, we're going to do a lettering object. I'm going to type in Colorado, COLORADO, hit the enter key. Now, if you notice, I just typed in all small letters. If I click on the information button next to this font, it only comes in capital letters. So that's why none of the small letters were showing. So just to let you know, it doesn't matter what you type here. If there's only capital letters, that's all that's going to show up in here. Okay, now, where can I put this? I mean, I don't have to use one of those baselines. I could just leave this here and put it here at the bottom. Nothing wrong with that. But I know I have a baseline in here. So let's take a look at Shield 4. Click on Notes. Now, baseline number 2. So if I put if I follow the instructions and do a letter 2 on it, it's actually going to put them along the left side. If I put a 3, it's going to put them along the right side. So let's try this out. So I'm going to put this on letter 3 because I think that's where I want it. It automatically moves it there. But for me, I'm looking at it, this is a little too squished, and either I have to make if I want it to go along that edge, I need to use a smaller font. But what if I wanted it to go up and down that side like I had it there? If I put my mouse cursor and select the letter C, do you see how I clicked on it? On the bottom, do you see the little disclosure or the little triangle, the adjuster there? If I put my mouse cursor and drag it, look at that. I can drag it all the way up. Now I'm looking at this and it's a little bit too big for this area. So I did choose mini, but I can actually go smaller. Or if I just, want it to be smaller, I'm going to take it and I'm going to, up here, I'm going to change it to 20. Just going to type in the size way up at the top so that it shrinks it down. And you're wondering, okay, she shrunk it down to a number and it jumped off the baseline. To reset it onto the baseline, because that's what the things you have to do, put your mouse cursor in the text and hit the Enter key. And it just pops onto the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that lower triangle. Have to drag it up. My mouse is a little slow. Move it up here so that it's exactly the way I want to and put it there. If I want to merge in their bumblebee, because that's part of their logo, I'm going to click on Merge Stitch File. Oh, I need to find, where did I put it? Today is Merrily Interactives. They have a medium and they have a small. So I'm going to choose the medium one just because I can see the size here when I put my mouse cursor on it. Right towards the bottom, I'm looking at this status bar. This says 20 by 40. That's about the size I want. So I'm going to select it. And if I put my mouse cursor on this one, it's 18 by 30. The numbers change. So this gives you some information about the merge stitch file. I'm going to choose the bigger one. I'm going to click Import. It brought it in sideways, so I need to turn him going this way. Maybe not so happy. And have my honeybee here. Now, of course, I need to change my stitching orders as far as how I want this guy and this one to both stitch last. So I'm going to just move them last so that it's going to stitch my patch. It's going to stitch the letters. It's going to stitch these letters, the honeybee, and then it's going to do the other patch. And keep everything together. So hopefully you guys found that a little bit exciting. Remember that this will be posted to our YouTube channel so you can watch it again later, or it's available here on Facebook. You can get information on the envelopes that are currently a free library available. The link is in the original post of this video. The link to Merrily Interactives is there, as well as the link to instructions on how to use it. Thank you for joining me today. Hopefully you have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Take care. Bye.